Good day, viewers. Welcome to the very first edition of Review and Heal. Now, this is a platform where we discuss issues bordering on religion, issues bordering on family, issues bordering on relationship, and maybe politics. Now, what makes this platform or program different from the one you have been seeing? Now, this is the platform where we scratch the surface of these issues I've mentioned, delve deep and then extract the unknown things or the things that which are known but yet to be understood by many people. So on this platform today, we are starting with a beautiful topic. And what is that? It is about the bond of relationship and the bond of religion, which is stronger. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, you may have a woman in your life, you may have a man in your life whom you love so well, you love so much, you love each other so well. But at the point of marriage, something happens. What is that? The obstacle of religion comes in, the obstacle of culture sets in, and then attempt to separate both of you. So what is the impact of religion on relationship? What is the impact of religion? What role does religion play in the relationship? Does it help to scatter it, or does it help to bring it along? What are the advantages and the disadvantages that will occur when two people from different backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, come together to marry? Now, to discuss this thing, of course, I am not alone. I have beautiful and handsome luminaries, personalities to discuss this with me. On my right hand, I have Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence, yes. It is a pleasure to have you.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. And I also have Mrs. Patsy. Mrs. Patsy, it's great to have you on Review and Heal.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here.
All right. So let's hit the nail on the head. Okay, let me start with you, Mrs. Patsy. How do you believe that a religion has any role or impact to play on a relationship? Because we know that Nigeria is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious country. So we do not check, or we do not, wave that aside. So what do you think? Do you think that there is a strong relationship between religion and relationship?
Yeah. Thank you very much for this important issue on the ground. I'm very, very glad to discuss it here with you. Yeah, in this case, religion has a very, very role to play in this part, because in a relationship or in a marriage whereby this one is Muslim and this one is a Christian, it has a lot of things to do there. There are some things you consider first. In this, you consider you first, being happy. Are you going to be happy in that marriage? Since this one is in this religion and the other one is in another religion, you will check it first. Two, you will check another one. Is this thing going to affect my children in the future? Again, you now think about your family, your parents. You think about it too. Is it going to affect our marriage when we go into marriage? When we go into it, is it going to affect us? Affect my parents, and they both from my wife and the wife and the husband. Is it going to affect our parents? By men doing that, I will say that this is a serious case, because when you get into it, you will see that, one, from my experience, from what I have seen so far, I have seen that when you enter into marriage, you find out that maybe the woman, maybe the man is a Christian, while the woman is a Muslim. You find out that, because they say love, they make them to enter. But when we enter inside, the woman will now find out that when she will be going to that church of that man, maybe she will be going there, attending it, she will find some things difficult. From there, she will start having issue with the husband. Before you know it, you say, no, you people can go to your church, let me go my own. By that, there is not going to be happiness in that marriage. From there, problem will come. From there, issues will come. Again, your children, when you start having children, your children will now start growing up. Before you know it, they will find out that mommy is going to this church, daddy is going to church. Which church am I going to follow? No, I will follow my mommy. This one will say, I will follow my daddy. Before you know it, scatter. There is no happiness in that home again. When you now think about your mommy, your parents, by that, you now the parents issue will now come in. Maybe before then, they have been warning you people, you should not come together, you should not go, and by that time, that's family issue, the parents issue now fix in. You start saying, let me start listening to my mommy. My mommy now told me I should not marry so girl. My mom said that by that time, there's problem. That is what they call commotion. So it will have you. By that time, then you have found out that there's a problem already. That family, in that case, that marriage is not. There's no happy home. There's no happy marriage in that issue again. That thing it will start disturbing, affect your home. It will affect your relationship. It will affect the society as a whole. By saying this, by that time, the man or the woman will not be strong again. In his or her life, he will not be strong again. Maybe there is some people that is supposed to be out there making them put smiles on their face, but due to there is no happiness in the house, the man will not be complete anymore.
Right, Mrs. Passive, from what I got, you said that religion has a very strong effect on a relationship.
Yes.
So it means that when a woman marries a man who is not of his own faith,
Yeah.
that could be a problem.
Yes.
Do you believe that, Mr. Lawrence?
Well, thank you once again for having me here. Yes, religion do actually plays a vital role in relationship. Now, I'm a Christian, so I believe the reason why we are using Christian and Muslims here is because they are the most popular religion here in Nigeria. So now, I'm a Christian. Getting married to a Muslim, might be, for me, personal opinion, I think it depends on your maturity, your level of understanding. Now, if the Bible actually said that can two work together unless they agree.
Of course.
Now, if you look at this religion of a thing, this issue of religion in relationship with marriage, it actually started way back in history, whereby parents actually allow their children to get married within the confined community and a particular family there to be identified with. So it moved on from there to a particular clan, and then it now dives into religions. And that's because marriage does not only end with couple. It involves both family, it involves the community at large, and of course, the religion. But should that be the case? That's a question. Should that be the case? I think, because I've seen whereby a Christian will marry a Christian and the marriage will not even last. We've had instances. It won't even last up to a month, a week. Some will even endure marriage to like a year. Then you crash, come down crumbling. I've attended a wedding whereby a Christian got married to a Muslim. And today they are still happily married. So the question now is, should religion really affect? Because I believe that religion has done more harm. I believe it has done more harm in relationship, in marriages, than good. Now, marriage is supposed to be, like they say, age is just a number. Now your level of maturity, but before you say, I'm ready to get married, there's this responsibility, there's this level of maturity you should attain before you think of getting married and I'm getting into it. So if you've not built up that capacity enough to quantify this, are you now going into marriage? By the time religion step in, you won't know how to build up your family. You won't know how to manage it at all. Now religion will now be dictating to you. You keep on hearing people say, couple having problem, and then the next thing they take it to their pastors and they say, my papa said, my mama said.
Yeah.
You understand? And they tend to bring it home. They tend to bring it to their home, which ought not to be. Okay, another instance. You see couple that when they are married, the mother-in-law will tell the wife, no, this is how a man should be treating his wife. And forgetting that the experience she had might not actually go well with this newlywed couple, because the husband she married then is not the same as the one the daughter is getting married to. So how then do you expect me now to embody your personality and bring it into my marriage? So that's why I said religion actually, for me, it has done more harm in relationship than good, because marriage is supposed to be two adults coming together to build up a family. In as much as it involves other families, extended families, bringing them together also to grow together, then religion ought to have looked into the man personality, the woman personality, her character, think of more how to build it. For instance, if I decide that, because I might decide tomorrow that I want to be a Christian, based on personal opinion. Okay, but let me just digress a little bit. We've seen the controversy going on Instagram, online, on social media, revolving around Pastor Eber in Akwa Ibom State. Now, you can see how religion is further being divided among themselves. One will come and say, this is how it ought to be. Another will come and say, no, this is the controversy within themselves. So for me, I believe there is even a greater confusion. I believe there is a greater confusion in their midst. Then bringing it now to the couple, it further damage the relationship. It causes more harm. It demoralizes everything along the line, which ought not to be.
Yes, thank you very much for that opening remark. There is one thing you mentioned that I love, and I want to ask that question to Mrs. Patsy, because he said that the Bible says that two cannot come together unless they agree. Now, in a matter of relationship, don't you think that what matters is just love? Why do you think that in some families there are other things that seem to weigh heavily on this most important thing, that is love between the man and the woman? Because every religion seems to be, we worship the same God. Catholics worship the same one God. Anglican is not the same God. Then even if it is a different religion, Muslims, Christians, and even the Jews, we worship the same God. So why must religion be a problem when a man and a woman want to marry? Why do you think that is so?
Well, why I say that religion coming in between these days. We are not, maybe you can see, you said that you are, as you said, that we are, is it not the same God? But the way they are doing their own, the way they are presenting it is not the same way with us. That is one thing. Another thing that we think there is that in that we said love, as I said before, we know it in the Bible, John 3:16, that God so loved the world, that he gives his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him, that will not perish, but have everlasting life, right? Right, there must be love. We believe in it, but there's some things you will think about now. There's some things you check out. Is that marriage? Is that you are like me now? When my husband is the only person that is my husband, but when you think about the brothers, the are they not your husbands? That is what that is what you think about. That it's not only that your husband that is marrying you. You will consider all the relations and the brothers and sisters. That is family. You consider it. What did they say? If you go only you, if you stand only you, are you going to be happy at the end of it in this marriage? That is our culture. That is where culture come in. These people are behaving and doing different things. Why we are doing different things? We cannot cooperate together. We cannot come together. We cannot be in one. We cannot be doing this. We are doing. These people are doing another thing. We are doing another thing. So in that issue, they are never going to be a happy There's not going to be a happiness in that marriage. Because if you just check now in the society where we are, or you say culture, there is the things when you come into marriage now, you marry, then maybe they would now send the woman, this is how you are doing. You will go to our village, you go and perform so things. You go and perform all those things. Before you know it, like one of these nowadays, they will tell you, or maybe they will say you barb your head, you cut, you do this, you do those. So this is our culture, this is how we are doing. You do it. You say, God forbid, I cannot do this. I will never do it. I can't. Instead, I will leave this marriage. And this is all the things we check. I cannot, or they'll tell you cut oil, you cut this, you do this, you do this. All these things, they say that I will not do it. Why should I do it? That is all. That is why. Because if you do not go and marry her, you marry from those kata will not be.
All right, Mrs. Patsa, I want to, understand you clearly. Is your problem, are you saying that when a couple of different religions, come together, or when a man and a woman of different faiths come together, that there will be a conflict in the marriage? No, there will be a conflict in marriage rising from this difference in their faith, or is it because that the family of the man is saying that when he marries a girl from a different faith, that it will be against their faith. For example, a Catholic. So I want to understand your basis, because I do not see. I'll give you an example. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State is a typical example of unity in Nigeria. He comes of a multi-ethnic and multi-religious family. His father was a Muslim and a Yoruba, and his mother was an Igbo and a Christian. But his father married his mother. He did not, consider all these things, and yet they married and they had children. So, what are you saying specifically? What conflict? Just mention those conflicts that may arise when two persons come together. What are those conflicts?
Okay. In my own aspect is this. In the Catholic or religion, it depends on how they, like let me say Christian, Catholic. It depends on how they read their Bible, what they understand from their Bible, how they understand this. Maybe they will understand that if I associate with this person or this denomination, or at the end of the day, I will not make heaven. That is one thing. They used to see it like they are not going to make heaven when they associate with the other person, or the other opposition. They will think that at the end of the day, they will not make heaven. That is why they don't want to associate with the other, their Christianity or whatever they call it. That is number one thing I noticed from it. That is why is from my own view, I think that religion have.
Okay, let me throw a question to this.
Okay.
Mr. Lawrence, do you think any practical or meaningful, concrete conflict may arise when a Catholic marries an Anglican or when a Christian marries a Muslim?
All right. Let me actually take it from the point of view. She made mention of John 3:16 here. Yeah. And in my understanding, now John 3:16, the Bible says, "For God so loved the world, so loved emphasis the world." Now, if I understand very clearly on that person, there was never religion mentioned in that verse that for God so loved this particular religion, or for God so loved that particular religion. It was just the world. And me, I view love differently from what other people actually see or think love should be. I would take love to be like, take it for instance, a fisherman taking a hook, going for fishing with his hook. Yeah. That's how I want to just narrate how love is. Then when he gets there, he just throw the hook. Whatever fishes get there, he won't just say, "No, I don't need this fish," and throw it back. He just went there to fish. So also when you are in love, you don't just say, "Oh, it must be this particular person," because love It's not all about feelings the way people tend to define it. It's not all about feelings or emotion. It's a choice, rather. It's rather a choice. You choose. So if then two people that are in search of love, anybody that is in search of love might likely find it in another different religion, not necessarily from his own religion. You might find that compatibility outside your religion. So why can't they get married? Why won't they get married? The Bible also said, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. There was never a point mentioned that he that findeth a wife in a particular religion. You see why I say religion has actually done more harm than good? Now, she also made mention of Anglican and Catholic, different denominations. Now, the way they perceive and understand their Bible when they study it. My question there is, do we have different Bible? Is it the same Bible? So, our ability to internalize what we now study, that's why I say all these things depends on your level of understanding, the growth you've acquired over time. Your level of understanding. Now, religion has actually, why I say religion has done more harm? I think, growing up, watched a movie then with Patient Ezoko and Clem. Yes. And this all of this issue of religion also, that's how I personally began to ask questions. Because tomorrow I might want to get married now, and I meet a Muslim girl who is down to earth, she's so compatible, and we now come and say, no, I can't get married. Why? If she gives me peace. If she gives me peace, yes, I think I should go ahead and marry her. So religion now has actually crippled so many understanding in marriage, has played more harm. For me, I believe it has done more harm than good. Because now, if it is believed, it is said that if a Christian marries a Muslim, one will either convert. One will have to convert. I read a story some time ago of a lady in the US. She said she got married to this Muslim. She was actually tricked into that marriage. But at first, she said she saw this guy. This guy was everything she dreamt of in a guy. And then before the marriage, she was already 3 months gone. And then the guy now tricked her into reciting something she didn't know. And then, she understand? That alone, someone will not look at that scenario entirely and now say, oh, this is why you shouldn't marry a Muslim. For me, I now believe that it is on the personality, the person. Because I have Muslims friends who are even more like a brother, more of a brother to me. They are so down to earth, and no one that I can vouch for him. He's so down to earth. I trust him even more than a Christian brother who I have come across with. Do you understand? So, religion, for me, I think this should be actually looked properly into and allow people to make their choices, not based on religion. I've seen marriages. Okay, I think we've had instances of pastors. I think there was a lady on a podcast with Nedu that came and said she got married to a pastor and then she got divorced. I don't know her name. She got divorced. So, what have we now said? She's a Christian, the man is a Christian, and a pastor for that matter. Now, we also heard about Pastor Chris of Christ Embassy, who got separated with his wife, Anita. So, what are we now saying? Was there anything like Muslim coming into play? Muslim religions coming into play in this relationship I just mentioned to actually cause harm? No. See, it has to do with the person involved. It has to do with the personality. So your level of maturity in a marriage, in a relationship, is what builds up a home. If I get married to a Muslim, for instance, and she wants to do her prayer, do whatever you're doing, I'm doing my own, so long as we don't actually disturb each other. It doesn't affect what we've come to, what has originally brought us together. It doesn't interfere with it. Then we are good to go. We are good to go, so I believe.
But what if the family is refusing to allow his child to marry a person from a different background, a different religion?
Yeah, like I said, I view love differently from what others view. It's a choice. I did example with a fisherman. You see, some hook you throw in, by the time you're bringing the fish will struggle and fall off. go fishing again. So look for another. You definitely find, because love is not based on emotion. It's not based on feelings.
That means you agree with Mrs. Passe that when you are marrying someone, the whole family is also marrying with you, and you are marrying the whole family of that person.
Correct.
That's good. So, Mrs. Passe, give your final words on this issue. Would you allow your child to marry someone who is from another religion?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I will in a situation whereby there is love. We mentioned love, and when you check in every other thing that I mentioned here, when you think about it, shake it. If there is something, if it's something that you go ahead and go with, carry on, you do so. But if you look into it and you check there, because everybody have their own culture. When you check about it, check everything very well. You see that this place, you have a disturb here, you have problem here, you have issue here, you have issue. For the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, this love, what they call love, is what it's what grows. It's not what you just see, you just push into it, or is you see, if I don't go with the person, I will die, or it's do or die affair. It's not. It's something that if you check something, if there is going to be obstacle on the way, you leave it and forge ahead. That is one thing I have to say on it.
And that obstacle is religion, you think?
Religion, that's what I may say.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, your final words on this. Do you believe that religion should be considered when getting into marriage?
I believe love should be considered.
First.
Yes. Love is the ultimate. It should be considered before religion. Because when you get married and you're living in your home with your family, religion will not come and stay with you. So love should be considered instead of religion. It should be more looked into rather than what Papa said and what Imam said and all that.
All right. That's all we have for you viewers. What do you think? You watching me, do you think that religion is so strong that two persons who love each other cannot get married? Of course, this topic cannot be exhausted today. Maybe next time continue with it. I am Otra saying you are still watching the Review and Heal. Yeah, just be poised for the next edition of this show. Bye-bye.